Come. You're cool this morning, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Should have brought our jackets.
We'll get warmed up enough though, because it is supposed to be up to 56 degrees today.
57. Yeah. It'll work out. We just have to take care of it.
Park the driveway.
As you can see, we're on our way out towards Lincoln Highway, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a very busy intersection, and it always impresses me that you have this type of thing going on in such a busy area. Life manages to cohabitate quite well.
Yeah, we have to go on this road to get out in the country roads.
Yeah.
Is it scary for you guys? Because I know, like, when I'm like riding in a car, and when I see a horse and buggy, I just think, oh gosh, like this is kind of dangerous. I didn't know, like, if you guys like ever get scared, or if you guys are so used to it that doesn't bother you.
It don't really.
Yeah.
These horses are real good.
They're used to being in the traffic, and
Yeah.
they listen to their commands.
Here's Amish house. Here's another one. They're buying these kind of homes instead of farms right now. Farmland is very scarce around here. So they buy these kind of homes and just work somewhere. A lot of chops around, they don't have to farm. So we'll see more out in the country then. Get off this busy road here.
With the modern houses, though, they still don't have electricity though, right?
No. They buy them with electricity in it. They don't tear it out altogether, but they'll disconnect it.
Okay.
Supposed to, anyway.
Because I know Amish don't believe in electricity.
Now, they use a lot of propane gas for their cook stoves, their lights, refrigerators, water heaters.
Their laundry's kind of a pain because don't they hand wash it?
They use the ringer washers. They don't do it by hand. They have washers, but they're a little different. You run it with a little engine or air motor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a washing machine for years.
Yeah, it's a little bit more advanced.
That's the way to do through here. Now, there might be areas they're more.
I hear a lot of that.
Yeah.
Might be areas they're more laid back, but through here they have the washers. Not the latest washers, but the.
Oh, trust us, even though we're in the outside world, some of us do take our time when we get beat at too, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what?
I like to take my time.
Me too.
I actually like the slower way of life sometimes. to have a license to drive one of these?
No, we don't. Nope.
That's enough. Can you start driving these buggies at any age, or is there a specific age that they normally start driving the buggies?
Well, it's not really a specific age. It's kind of up to the parents when they're ready to drive. So some of them might be driving at 12 years old. Most of the farms, they have children, they have them little miniature horses, and they learn to drive pretty young. By the time they get to be 16, you'll get a horse and buggy from the parents, the boys. Come. Yeah. Now here on the right is an Amish farm, about 85-acre dairy farm. They milk about 60 cows. Right here's an Amish home. There's probably about a fourth of them farmers. The rest of them live in homes like this and work somewhere, have a job.
Wow.
A lot of jobs around. They don't have to farm. Well, they don't have much choice nowadays. The way the farming is.
So they have to learn a trade, like
Yeah.
farming, or...
Then they learn a trade from somebody else. Work for some. They work and learn after school. They learn a trade. They don't really have trade schools. They learn it after that. Here's Amish house.
Such nice houses.
Yeah, that's actually a new one in a couple of years.
And I know, like in November, that's when you guys start Amish start harvesting, right?
Well, they're at it now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing corn. That's one of the last crops. November, a lot of things are pretty much over, unless they have produce and farm broccoli and cabbage. They'll go till Christmas sometimes. Depends on the weather. That's an Amish store there, a hardware store. They have a lot of their own businesses. Then they kind of work for each other. Some make furniture. They make a lot of storage barns. A lot of builders. They don't drive cars or trucks, but you'll hire somebody that drives to work for them, and that's how they get to work. And sometimes there's retired guys and just take them to work and pick them up, and sometimes there's younger guys that have a job, like they work for them all day and take them home. English people I'm talking about.
And English people, you don't mean people from England.
No, they mean like people like us, outsiders.
Yeah, if they're not, I'm Mennonite. That's what they call us. But if you're not Mennonite or Amish, they'll call them English.
Gotcha.
It's just the way they say it. There's really no meaning about it. But I mean, people know what they mean.
Interesting, yeah. My grandfather, he was born into the Mennonite church. He was a Brethren out of Lancaster County. So I can relate to that somewhat.
There's a lot of different Mennonites. We drive horse and buggy too. But we have electricity and telephones. But we don't have computers and no cell phones and all that. But there's some Mennonites that do.
And then I also know too, because like we kind of grew up in a Mennonite church for a short time. Well, I did, and I know like they're like some Mennonite wear clothes like the outsiders.
Some do almost the same, yeah. Yeah.
And then how many different Amish communities are there that are like, because I know there's some Amish communities that are strict, and then there's some Amish communities that are not so strict with like with video and technology, and others are. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the ones we all talk about are all the same. Old order Amish. Like the farmers don't use tractors on the land. They all use horses or mules to plow and plant. And there's some areas they're more laid back than here. Up around here, the houses are pretty nice, and sometimes you don't see a whole lot of difference in the buildings, you know. But if you get up to where you're from, there's Amish up there, not? Oh, maybe not. Western Pennsylvania, there's some of them counties out there,
Yeah.
and they're more laid back than here. Yeah. But there is some here that if they leave, what do they call that? Yeah, no, but if they, sometimes they leave the Amish. Spring Gardens, their Spring Garden Church.
Okay.
They're pretty fancy. A lot of them go there. Then they have drive cars and they have all kinds of dresses. A little bit like Amish yet. They still have the beards, but shorter.
Yeah.
Trim them. So that's maybe where you get that new order.
Okay, yeah.
There's a couple like that. There's one in here not too far from here. It's called, they're a little more, not as liberal as the Spring Garden guys. It's just in the back here, the church. It's Weavertown Mennonite Church.
Okay.
There's Amish that started that. And I think they all have little beards. And they dress kind of plain, but they drive cars and have electric and all that.
So are they a Mennonite church? Is that what you said?
Well, it's be Amish Mennonite, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know there was such thing as an Amish Mennonite. I thought the Amish were the Amish and Mennonites were the Mennonites.
Yeah, well.
It goes back to Switzerland, doesn't it?
Yeah, they came from Switzerland, Germany, and Europe years ago. And the Mennonite and Amish were together back then. And the Amish broke off. They wanted to be more conservative, and that's still the way it is.
Right.
Yeah.
That stuff's written in the books, the history books, and
Yeah.
it talks about how there was disagreements between the Amish and the Mennonites in Switzerland when they were on.
I kind of didn't they get chased out of there for about religious reasons too. I kind of think that's what happened. There goes to the bake shop. The Mennonites have a bake shop up that road, quarter half a mile or so. Nice place.
And then Amish have like weddings only in November, correct?
Well, they have them in the fall time. They're starting already
Okay.
because there's too many.
Okay.
A couple of the workers had some last week. This week. And they're going to have some Tuesday, I heard.
Oh, wow.
And these are all Amish homes.
And they don't wear any rings or nothing, right?
No. Nope. The men grow beards when you get married.
Is there any, when they propose to a girl, are there any traditional things that they do in order to announce that they want to marry her?
Not really, not that you notice.
Well, how do you know, like, when they're ready, like the parents?
Well, they know. They'll make it, announce it in the church that they're getting married. This couple such and such a day, maybe a month or two before their wedding. Yeah. We do the same thing.
So instead of getting down on the knee and giving a ring, you just do it that way?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what are the ages in the Amish that they can get married at? Because, like, I know I don't know if there's a certain age or not.
Well, it's not really I'd say between 21 and 25. A lot of them get married.
And then, like, I don't know if this tradition changed or not, but I heard something about if the Amish house has a window open, that means that they're ready for a girl to coordinate. I don't know.
I think that's been years ago.
Oh, they changed that?
Yeah.
I never heard that one.
No, I've heard it before, but no, I don't think that's anymore.
Wow.
Might have been a joke too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've heard some jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went on a tour for when I had to be a member of the church, and one of the things I had to do was visit all these different religions and go on these tours just so I could become a member of the Methodist Church.
Okay.
It was a confirmation That's how we would get confirmed, because we would have to complete this thing in different religions, and then once we went and completed the program, then they were like, okay, you're now confirmed. Where now you have to stand up in front of church and see if they're going to let you become a member.
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea. That's Amish house. 2 families live there. Right there they have a tunnel under the road for the cattle go to the barn.
A tunnel.
A tunnel.
Here on the other side.
Yeah.
Right there. See it?
Yeah.
Right over here.
Right.
That little spot.
okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
that-
where they go in and come out over in the barn.
Huh.
Something you don't hardly see.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Never would have noticed that. Just driving by. They have their own little windmill up there and all.
Yep.
They used to have a lot of windmills, but that's something kind of faded out too. They use air pumps now. They run an engine air compressor and they use a lot of air tools.
I see.
Air pumps to run the water system in their homes. Here's an old grist mill, an old water mill. Here's a go to grind cornmeal and wheat flour. But that's a thing of the past.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, things really did change since late 90s, early 2000s.
So they're allowed to use engines, but only in certain cases.
Well, yeah, they use a lot of gas engines. On their balers, to bale the hay, that runs with the engine and they pull with the horses. And, oh, what else?
But so they're not allowed to run a tractor with an engine, but they're
They
allowed to
use tractors around the barn, but they don't use them on the land. For take off part, chop corn, blow it up the silos, they use tractors for that. But on the land, they're not supposed to use them. They don't either. You don't hardly see any tractors on the land. That's to get somebody else to harvest something for them, but that's not practical either. They don't do that a lot either. Well, right here's an Amish place. You see the solar panels, they use them some on the barn roof. And all the way back you'll see the school. Between the, right there, the bell on the roof, all the way back. Bell tower, that's the Amish schoolhouse.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Amish school.
They have a little school every couple miles. So they have a little, the reason of that, they all walk to school or take their scooter bikes.
Yeah, that's right. They would take scooters. And how many miles do they have to ride scooters and bikes for? Because I've seen Amish kids do that.
They don't go far with them, just around home. There's some might go a couple miles.
Okay, that's not too
Yeah.
bad. Their trade then, since their schools only go up to 8th grade.
Well, they learned that from somebody else
Oh, okay. I
of the
gotcha.
Amish congregation.
Oh, okay.
They work for a woodworker or whatever for a couple of years to learn the trade. They work and learn. They get paid to learn it. You see things advertised in the paper. They don't really need to be certified builders or whatever. They'll learn it on the job. Yeah. That's an old house there, built in 1782. But that's not an Amish house.
Oh.
That's in 1, 2, 3 generations, this farm that I know. And that's what a lot of the Amish do and the Mennonites. They keep their family farms in the families. If it wouldn't be for that, there'd be more houses around here. That way they don't get a hold of them, the builders and
So So why it is it then that, okay, so like when it comes to run Rumspringa, what ages does that run? Because I know that's where they can decide whether they want to stay Mennonite or Amish or in the English world.
Well, they start probably 16. That Rumspringa is not quite the way it sounds. They don't really leave home. Now there's different groups. There's so many young Amish people, boys and girls all over the county, and then they have different groups. And some of them are more liberal than others. The ones they all talk about Rumspringa, them that drive cars, and they're pretty liberal, but they don't go to town and stay for weeks. They go from home just. They might even go to church every other Sunday.
Oh, wow.
The Amish church. So if they tell you Rumspringa, it sounds like they're going for years, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not the way it works. And then when they're the boys and girls would do that in that group. Then they get married, they settle down. They might be dating at that time, and they come back and settle down and join the church and be Amish. But their young days, they kind of run wild, you know. Some of them.
I get you.
They don't all do that. I don't know what percent, maybe a third of them. Depends
Oh, go ahead.
what group they're with.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense. I didn't know. That's
Yeah.
something I did not know. I didn't know there was different groups at Rumspringa. I thought it was all the same group.
No.
Thought it was spring break.
Kinda.
Go to Cancun for the, couple of weeks and come back. Come back a changed person.
Yeah.
But you have another question?
Yeah, so what would make them decide to leave Amish or Mennonite? Like, why would they do that? And then if they're, shunned, and they can't come back, I mean, are they allowed to come back if they change?
Well, the ones about Rumspringa, they're not a member of the church, and they don't shun them. Don't have to shun them.
Okay.
Only the time they shun them if you're a member of the church. And it happens occasionally. Some will leave after married a couple of years, and that's when they shun them then. But when they're young and not a member, they don't have to. Then it just. Not all of them will join the church a little older, and they're just everything's all right. You don't have to shun or nothing.
The whole shunning thing is pretty serious.
Yeah, we don't do that. I don't think that the Amish might not agree with that either anymore, but they have to do it because it's the rules. That happened years ago, and
So the rules, are they informal? Are they written down somewhere? Or is it word of
they
mouth?
know
How is that?
they know the rules.
They know the rules.
I don't think it's wrote up. But it might be. We have it that way. I don't know how about the Amish. They read the rules off twice a year. They probably do the same thing.
So, like, if they get shunned, and then because they want to, break away from the English world, and then say that they realize the English world is not so grass is green on the other side, and they want to come back, can they come back?
Yeah, they can come back. They have to. If they be driving cars and all that, they have to get rid of all that before they can be Amish. But they can come back anytime.
Gotcha.
But they won't take them back if they look like English or dress like English.
I understand that. There was this one time I thought was very interesting where I did see a family dressed up as Amish, but then I could tell they really weren't Amish, and they looked like they were breaking away and they were at the beach. Does Amish or Mennonite go to the beach?
They do. Some do.
Okay.
Yeah. They wouldn't all go. Depends a little what group you're with, but come on.
So they take vacations and they travel.
They do some. That's actually Amish house there. Not the block. Like I said, they're buying them kind of homes and works somewhere. He works down the road here where they make the swing sets.
got a nice big propane tank.
Yep. And these are not Amish homes here. You can almost pick them out.
Yeah, because I saw something about Amish houses where you could tell they all have green blinds.
Some do, yeah. It's something kind of faded out too, somewhat. Some of the young ones don't have them anymore as much. But I'll show you some down here.
Well, I appreciate the update because, I noticed something, but I didn't realize how much it drastically changed till now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right here's about a 100-acre farm. More silos, that tells you it's more land. That's where the corn goes. Right this time of year they cut the corn.